Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the corporate world and show you how all the brands you know and love are, well, more connected than you think.
I mean, really think about it. Is it just a coincidence that your go-to coffee shop and that new app on your phone are suddenly owned by the same mega corporation? Spoiler alert, it's not. This is the high-stakes world of corporate strategy, and it is happening all around us every single day. So how do these corporate giants get so giant? It really all comes down to a few key moves they make. So let's get into it and break them all down.
Okay, first up, we've got the absolute basics, mergers and acquisitions. You've probably heard this term thrown around, M&A. It's the foundation for everything we're about to talk about.
So what's the real difference here? Well, a merger is kind of like a corporate marriage. Two companies agree to join together, and they create a brand new single entity. Think Exxon and Mobil becoming ExxonMobil. But an acquisition, that's more like one company just swallowing another one whole.
And you have seen the results of these acquisitions everywhere, probably without even realizing it. I mean, when Amazon bought Whole Foods, your grocery shopping literally changed overnight. When Facebook, now Meta, snapped up Instagram and WhatsApp, our social media world was completely reshaped. And don't even get me started on Google's shopping spree. It gives them a massive influence over pretty much our entire digital lives.
But why do these deals happen? What's the point? Well, it all comes down to strategy. And there are three main types of M&A, each one with a completely different goal in mind.
First, you've got the horizontal power play. This is when direct competitors look at each other and decide, you know what? It's better to just join forces than to keep fighting. It's the classic, if you can't beat them, buy them strategy. And the result? A lot less competition and a ton more market control. The U.S. Airways and American Airlines merger is a perfect example. They went from bitter rivals to the biggest airline in the world.
This is exactly how you end up with one single company owning a whole fleet of car brands that all seem to be competing against each other. Volkswagen doesn't just sell Volkswagens. No, they sell you the luxury of a Porsche, the raw speed of a Lamborghini, and the classic style of a Bentley. It creates this illusion of choice, right? But it's all controlled by one parent company.
Okay, next up is vertical M&A. This strategy is all about controlling your own destiny, your own supply chain. So instead of buying out a competitor, you buy one of your suppliers, or maybe one of your distributors.
You see, every single product has a journey. It goes from raw materials to the factory to the stores, and then finally into your shopping cart. Vertical integration is all about one company taking control of as much of that journey as possible. They can either go backward and buy their suppliers, or they can go forward and buy the very stores that sell their products.
Let's take IKEA. They didn't just want to buy wood for their furniture. No, they wanted to own the whole forest. So by purchasing massive forests in Romania, they guaranteed their own supply of timber. It's a classic, brilliant example of backward integration.
And then you have the total wild card, the conglomerate. This is when a company decides to just start playing in a completely different sandbox. It's why a company famous for, say, insurance also sells you candy, or why a brand known for airlines also gets into the music business. It's all about diversifying, but man, is it a high-risk, high-reward game.
Now, all the examples we've looked at so far have been pretty friendly deals, where both sides agree to the terms, but that is not always how it goes down.
And this, my friends, brings us to the most dramatic scenario in the entire corporate world. This is the kind of stuff you see in the movies. Yeah, this is where things get really aggressive. A hostile takeover is basically a corporate ambush. The buyer doesn't bother asking for permission, they just go straight to the shareholders, buying up as much stock as they can until they own the company and leaving the old management team out in the cold.
And if you want a textbook, modern-day example of a hostile takeover, you don't have to look any further than Elon Musk's bombshell purchase of Twitter. And the price tag for that? A jaw-dropping $44 billion.
And the consequences were immediate. The old leadership was out the door on day one. Musk had total control to reshape the company however he wanted. The mass layoffs that followed were just a brutal reminder that when a company gets taken over, absolutely everything is on the table.
So whether these deals are friendly or hostile, one thing is for sure. They are always a huge billion-dollar gamble. There are major potential upsides, for sure, but also incredibly significant risks. So why on earth take such a huge risk? Well, the potential payoff is massive. You can instantly expand your empire, you can slash costs by becoming bigger and more efficient, and you can break into totally new markets overnight. It's exactly why a soda company like Coca-Cola would suddenly want to own a coffee chain.
But, and it's a big but, the path to corporate glory is absolutely paved with pitfalls. The price tags are astronomical. The human costs can be devastating, with layoffs and massive culture clashes. It is a very, very high-stakes gamble, and there is no easy way out if things go south.
And here's the absolute kicker. Get this. According to the Harvard Business Review, most of these deals fail. That's right, a staggering 80% of mergers and acquisitions do not deliver on their original promises. It's like a corporate graveyard of broken deals and shattered expectations.
With such a ridiculously high chance of failure, you'd think companies would be a little more wary of M&A. And you know what? Some are. So they opt for a completely different strategy, the joint venture.
Think of a joint venture as corporate dating instead of a full-blown marriage. Two companies team up for one specific project, they share the costs, they share the risks, and then when it's over, they can just go their separate ways. It's a way to collaborate without the massive, permanent commitment, which is why it was the perfect model for Sony and Ericsson when they decided to team up and make phones together.
So, the next time you see a familiar brand with a new logo or you hear about some massive corporate deal in the news, you'll know what's really going on behind the scenes. It's not just business as usual. It's a high-stakes game of strategy, risk, and reward that is constantly shaping the world around us. And the only question is, who's winning?